We see all of those from a technical perspective, the most attractive undeveloped rare earth project in the world. But it's more than that. It's the progress that we've made. So not only the best undeveloped rare earth project in the world, but the most advanced. So this project now has been de-risked from a technical, regulatory, offtake, and now funding perspective.
Hello and welcome to the Assay TV. I'm in Cape Town today at the 121 Mining Investment event, and I'm delighted to be joined by Bardin, who is our CEO at PEK Rare Earth. So welcome, it's great to have you today.
Thank you, great to be here.
So our viewers are quite familiar with the company by now. You've been with the Assay a while, but could you give us a brief introduction to kick us off?
Sure. So we're an ASX listed company focused on the Ngualla Rare Earth Project in Tanzania, widely regarded as the best undeveloped rare earth project in the world. Key points of differentiation include very high grade, both from a total rare earth oxide as well as a Neodymium and Praseodymium perspective, 24-year life of mine supported by JORC compliant ore reserves. But importantly, those ore reserves account for less than 20% of the resource base, so plenty of scope for future expansions and life extension. Also very low levels of radionuclides, so very low levels of uranium and thorium, and high radionuclides have been a problem for other projects around the world. So we see all of those from a technical perspective, the most attractive undeveloped rare earth project in the world. But it's more than that. It's the progress that we've made. So not only the best undeveloped rare earth project in the world, but the most advanced. So this project now has been de-risked from a technical, regulatory, offtake, and now funding perspective. So from a regulatory perspective, we've got our special mining license, we've got a binding framework agreement with the government of Tanzania, which is akin to an investment agreement. From a technology perspective, we've completed a BFS update, a FEED. There's been a huge amount of pilot plant test work. And then we've got this very strategic relationship with our major shareholder, Shenghe. So binding offtake agreement, all conditions precedent satisfied. And then last year we entered into what we call an integrated investment development and funding term sheet with Shenghe.
So you mentioned the partnership, obviously. So can we just go more into detail about that partnership and how it positions the company for your future works as well?
So a little bit about Shenghe.
Yeah.
They're our largest shareholder, 19.9% shareholding. They've invested just under $50 million in PEK to date. Non-SOE, listed on the Shanghai Stock Exchange, market cap of around US $2.6 billion. Widely recognised for their technical expertise in rare earths, particularly in bastnasite mineralisation, which is what we have. Internationally very active, a very good track record of working with NdPr materials in the US. So NdPr materials restarted the Mountain Pass project in California. Shenghe played a pivotal role as a major shareholder, but also provided an integrated offtake funding and technical solution. And so that enabled NdPr to further optimise the flow sheet, boost grades, boost recoveries. Interestingly, NdPr is now moving further downstream. So from the production of a high-grade concentrate into oxided magnets, that creates a very large void in that concentrate market, and a void that we're uniquely positioned to fill. So Shenghe, very credible, and I think a key point of differentiation for us, because a lot of rare earth development companies are really missing that strategic partner, someone who can provide technical assistance, offtake, and funding. And so that was really the basis for this term sheet that we signed last year. So under that term sheet, which we're in the process of documenting into legally binding agreements, but key points there are they will inject 96 million Australian dollars into Ngualla Group UK, which is our holding company. They will then provide a debt facility for the balance of development costs, provide us with an EPC solution. So the advantage for PEK shareholders is they end up with a project that is further optimised, lower cost, with a complete funding solution.
Okay, If we can look at the Ngualla Project a little bit more detail in terms of what's going on now, in terms of exploration. So what is the latest with that?
Yeah, so last year we completed what we call a critical minerals exploration program. The background to that is that our view is that Ngualla isn't just about rare earths, it's much broader than that. There's the potential for a multi-commodity deposit. We focused on two key zones, the northern zone to the north of our existing rare earth ore reserves and the breccia zone to the northeast. So that program entailed development of a geological model in the northern zone, about 57 drill holes, about 4,200 metres of drilling. Within the northern zone, we identified high-grade intercepts of phosphate, open in multiple directions. We think has the potential to support the development of a separate phosphate project. To support that, we've entered into an MOU with Mjingu, which is a Tanzanian East African focused fertiliser group. And so we're progressing discussions and studies on that. Within the breccia zone, we got some very high-grade intercepts of Fluorspar. So some of those intercepts in the high 50s and low 60s, still early stages, but certainly the potential for a globally significant Fluorspar deposit.
Very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. So lots of talk about ESG and sustainable practices in the sector currently. And PEK is committed to ESG and social engagement, and you've done quite a bit of work on that as well.
We have.
Could you tell us about historical ESG practices and also what you plan to do moving forward?
Sure. So when it comes to sustainability, our catchphrase is Kazi Wajibu Utu, which is Swahili for work responsibility and humanity. Historically, we put a lot of focus on education, infrastructure, medical support and cultural events for the community. That entailed historically the construction of primary classrooms, teachers' houses, because if you don't have good teachers' houses, you can't get the teachers to the region. On the infrastructure side, a lot of work around clean water sources for the community. We also constructed 46 kilometres of road that connects the community, and that has been an absolute game changer. So for the first time in the history of Ngualla, they've got now regular bus services. They're able to get their agricultural produce out to broader markets, so they're getting a much higher prices for those things. More recently, we've gone and constructed 2 classrooms for a new high school, so the region's first high school. We've also constructed a library. We've just finished some electrical work for a new maternity clinic. We've funded a full-time paramedic who supports our camp, but most of their time is actually supporting a medical clinic and the maternity clinic. We're also constructing the region's first police station at the moment as well.
Wow. So a lot of work there. That's really, really great to hear. So the company operates in Tanzania. Could you tell us more about the area as a mining jurisdiction and how it's different to other areas that are probably maybe more common as well?
Sure. So Tanzania is already a well-established mining jurisdiction, but I think fair to say rapidly improving under the presidency of Samia Suluhu Hassan. So under her presidency, we've seen a lot more focus and momentum on the mining sector, the grant of multiple framework agreements, special mining licenses, but equally as important, much more collegiate, proactive approach from government. Tanzania historically known for gold, diamonds, and tanzanite. Country is bestowed with a lot of high quality critical minerals projects. So not only rare earths, but lithium, graphite, nickel and some copper. So a huge amount of potential there. What's been very pleasing over the last 12 months is we've seen some of the international majors make significant investments in country. So the likes of POSCO, BHP, Perseus, and of course Shanghai. So in all those cases, endorsements of both country and its mining sector.
Great. Sounds like a great place to be working right now. So finally, what should our investors look out for in the near term?
Yeah, so the key thing for us is, we've signed that term sheet with Shanghai. We're in the final throes of legal documentation. So getting that finalised, executed and announced, we see that as a major milestone. And once we've done that, then the focus will be progressing the project towards a final investment decision, which is very exciting.
Very close then. Great. Thank you, Bardin, for joining me today, and I hope you have a great event.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.